Assalamu alaikum. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad. نويت تعلم وتعليم وتذكر وتذكيرا والإفادة والاستفادة والحتى على تمسك بكتاب الله وسنة رسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم والدعاء إلى الهدى ودلالة على الخير ابتغاء وجه الله ومرضاته وقربه وثوابه سبحانه وتعالى. How's everybody? Alhamdulillah. So we've been talking about a few things the past couple of days related to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and how great Allah is. So when we say like Allahu Akbar, Allah is greater, right? Allah is greater than, you can put anything in there after, fill in the blank. Allah is greater than everything and anything that you can imagine. Why? Because Allah is the creator and everything else is His creation. So there's only one creator, Allah, and everything else is a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The interesting thing about that though is that Allah is the creator of everything that you can see and also everything that you cannot see. So for example, sometimes there's things or moments that, you're afraid, because of it being dark or, you hear a sound or something like that. Or, you have, you're sick or something that, that you can't really see, but you're just feeling scared. Allah is the Allah of even that. So what does Ustad Rahan mean? He means that everything is dependent on Allah. So, when you're scared or when you're afraid of something, you should always ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for help. You should always turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in those times. Because Allah is the Allah of even those things, right? Of harm, something that could be harmful for you. Maybe, if you're going to a place that maybe there's like a forest or something, let's imagine, right? And there could be things in there that could harm you. Allah is the Allah of all of those things as well. Yeah? So really, there's very little a person needs to be truly afraid of. Right? Because Allah is in control of everything. Everything that you can imagine, everything that you can see, everything that you cannot see. So it's very important to always ask Allah for assistance, for protection, for guidance, for help, for relief, right? All of those things, because Allah is the Allah of all of those things that can help you and all of those things that can harm you. So, for example, the next time you go on a roller coaster, right, and you're very, very scared, it's probably a waste of a dua, but you could make dua that Allah protect you from any harm, right, or protect you from feeling scared. Even your feelings, Allah is the Allah of that. Right? Allah created those feelings. So if something is in your heart, or you're scared, or you're sad, or even when you're happy, right, that you understand that Allah is controlling all of that. So that's how great Allah is. That's how close Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to you and your life. So that's the importance of dua. Dua is not just after the prayer, raising your hands. Dua can be you're lying in bed and you're thinking about Allah. Dua can be you're sitting down and you're reading a book and then something causes you to remember Allah. And then you remember Him and that's your dua. And you ask Him for something, that's your dua. So as young people, as students, and those of us who are a little bit older, it's very important for us to remember that there is nothing that is outside of the control of Allah. Right? No human being, nothing that is inanimate like a rock, nothing that you can see and nothing that you can not see. Everything is under the control of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when you understand that, the world becomes a little bit less scary. It becomes scary when we forget that. We think that, a person can harm us, or we think that, something that we don't even see can harm us, right? we have to remind ourselves that Allah is in control of everything. So always make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Always make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make you feel easy, to make you feel happy, to make you feel safe, to protect you from harm. Because like we said, and this is the last point that we'll make, is that Allah is the Allah of everything that can benefit you, and Allah is the Allah of everything that can harm you. Right? So I'll give you a very practical example. Like Ustad Urhan's been making a lot of dua because I have to go to the dentist today. So that's why I'm talking about this. And one of the things that I've been thinking about is that, you know what, Allah is the Allah of everything. Allah is the Allah of not just the dentist, but any feeling that I might have, any other things that may be able to harm me, right? My health, Allah is the Allah of my health, right? So Allah is the Allah of all of those things. And when you remember that, you relax a little bit. And you just turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? You turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you start to depend on your own self, and your own brain, and your own hands, and your own people, then you'll never feel comfortable. But when you remind yourself that, you know what, Allah is the Allah of everyone and everything, things that we can see and that we cannot see, then you start to calm down a little bit, and then you just keep asking Allah, keep making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you know, the funny thing is that this is the example of the Prophet ﷺ, his whole life. Right? We forget that. Like, he had the most monumental task that any human being can imagine, right? And within that, he also had times where he was hurt, he was injured, right? He was sick, his family members were sick, you know. We forget that many of his children, almost all of them, died before him. Yeah. So, you know, he went through a lot emotionally, physically, spiritually. But the example for us is there. We just forget that every time you just turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He wouldn't panic and run around and start telling everybody, you know, this is happening, that's happening. And, you know, he would just spend a lot of time with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, speaking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because it makes perfect sense. Allah is the Allah of everything that will ever come and go into your life. So it's the most important thing and the smartest thing you can do is to speak with Allah and depend on Allah and make dua to Allah. Right? So that's the lesson for today. To summarize, that Allah is the Allah of everything that you can see and everything, most importantly, that you cannot see. And everything that can harm you and everything that can help you. So the most intelligent thing that you can do is to speak to the one who is the creator and the one who manages all of that. Right? Instead of the internet, instead of another human being, you can consult those things, but depend only on Allah. Depend only on Allah. Right? Make sense? Yeah? Okay, so inshallah Allah give you guys tawfiq to remember this.